Hey, howdy everybody. It's Wednesday hump day. Happy hump day, everybody. Middle of the week. We're almost there. Yeah, keep going. It's almost the weekend, but hey, Wednesday hump day and welcome to an Inkarnate live stream. We're doing Burning Villages. Woo! Yeah, excited about this. Just reach out to your inner pyro. Yeah, trying to light stuff up, right? We're gonna light it up. You ready to catch stuff on fire? Hey, Seraphim. Hey, King Clown. Hey, Cheryl. Welcome, everybody. Yeah. Sweet. This is gonna be a fun one. We're gonna burn some stuff down. Everyone has an inner pyro. Yeah, everyone has to fulfill that once in a while, right? All right. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be in the fantasy battle map style. So it's going to be a battle map. This is going to be fun. I'm going to be show you how to pretty much how to make the burning village. If you have your own village already, you can just follow along with that. I didn't pre-make a village in advance because I'm going to specifically make a village for this stream. And the beautiful part about when you're doing on a battle map, if you're trying to make a fire, you don't have to do the entire village. Really, you just need to show a section of the village, maybe a specific building that's on fire, and you don't want the fire to spread to other buildings. So when it comes to this kind of a thing, it doesn't have to be the entire village. You can just use the resize feature. You can find that in that grid. In the grid tool or up in the left hamburger menu at the top, and you can just resize the map, just resize a section of it, because it's unlikely that your players are going to be running all the way across town, especially if it's a lot larger village. So instead, we're going to have this be like an isolated section of a village. All right, I'm just going to go right into edit map. This is already at your basic landscape aspect ratio. I'm just going to use that and keep it easy. Becca, my inner pyro is very happy. Please, twirly mustache, burn it down. Yeah. This is one of those streams where you're going to let out any frustration. There's some inner conflict, some frustrations that you might have about the way things are going in your life or life in general, right? This is that stream where you get to be like, burn it, just best to do it here on a map than to probably do it in real life. So hey, right, let out all your frustration in this stream. All right. Oh, that's quite all right, King Clown. If you can't make it for the whole thing, we understand. Okay, so I also want to mention one other thing real quick before we get started, and that is that I'll be on on vacation. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so my throat's a little coarse. Next month I'll be on some vacation, so we're probably gonna do some. Hey Callum, whoa, hey Callum's here, sweet. Oh, my favorite people here. Wow, this couldn't get any more fun, right? So I'm gonna be on vacation a little bit next month, so I'll be probably doing some Discord stream specials just on Discord, probably sometime this month. So it'll just be for those of you who are on Discord. If you're not on our Discord server, go check that out. The moderator will go ahead and provide that link in the chat, so go check that out. So it's going to be a Discord exclusive stream. It will be recorded, and I'll be playing those on the days that we have streams that I'll be gone on vacation, okay? So I'm excited to actually do some Discord streams with people. Haven't done that in a long time. Super exciting. Sweet. Go check out the link in the chat, folks. Okay. Also, if you have any future requests for streams, please let us know. Go ahead and click that Discord link. Don't forget to first go to the roles channel, then hit the Inkarnator role, because if you don't hit that Inkarnator role, a lot of the channels are going to be invisible. You'll be like, whoa, this is a really lean server. No, it's not lean. It's not lean. We are fat, okay? We are good, and you need to go ahead and click that Inkarnator role so you can see the stream. See that, okay? All right, let's jump in. Enough blabbing. Let's get right into it. So first, I'm going to go ahead and take some composite buildings and just throw them down. Yeah, there is so much on the Discord. Woo! Okay, so let's just dive in here. I'm going to use the Fantasy Battle Map 2.0. That's the pack. I'm going to type in composite because I'm just going to use the composite buildings. And I think they're in here. Let me go up here. There we go. Let's use farm composites. There are 4 of them. That's perfect. And they don't have to be massive, so we'll have to think about setting a scale. And for me, scale is about deciding first some foreplanning. What is happening in this village, and stuff like that. So if you have ideas, feel free to share them in the chat. My idea was to have about 4 or 5 buildings, structures. 1 building is on fire, and the objective for your players is to try to put out 1 building before the wind blows and causes the rest of the village to catch on fire. So that's the major premise there. But at the same time, if you fail, even if players fail, there needs to be a resolution for that. So one thing that you could do is, if the whole village burns down, perhaps the original building burnt to the ground and reveals a basement leading to some cult, dungeon, all kinds of fun things. If you succeed, then you've saved people's lives and the village is protected. Reward the players for that. Maybe you have to show 1 interior. And you put that on the side, because when you're making a big map, let's say that you're not even a big map, if you're making a map that's an exterior map with some buildings and you want to show an interior, make sure that you include that interior on the map as well instead of a separate map. That'll be easier for you, especially if you're using a VTT, because in that way you can just teleport right over to the interior instead of having to switch maps. So we'll also probably include an interior. It doesn't have to be more than 1 floor, and maybe you have to go in and save somebody in the interior. So it's really, there's so many ideas, so many fun things that you can do. And if you have any ideas, feel free to share them in the chat. It can be as wonky as you want. We can throw in a flaming chicken. I don't know. Is it maybe fire-breathing chickens are what caused it? Yeah, let's do that. I know we have chickens in here. It could be a flame-throwing goat. I mean, that'd be cool, right? Yeah, hey, what about demonic flame-throwing goats? We're definitely throwing that in there, okay? No one's changing my mind about that. Nobody. Okay, so first things first, what I like to do is to do some drawing. I like to draw just a basic sketch. And what's really easy about making a village, at least in my opinion, is you only need to make 1 major road, a thoroughway for carriages, and then you just make little roads branching off of that. That's really as simple as it goes. So I'll go ahead and throw down where I want my road to be. So we'll look at it here. Let's just go in like this. It's always nice to go in a diagonal, and let's not make it so wavy. Since it's up close, maybe we'll make it kind of straight. There we go. A little too much. Let's give a little bit of arc. A little bit of arc to it. There we go. That'll work fine. And this is just a guide, okay? So here's the main road. I'm going to go ahead and rotate it a little bit more. I'm going to give it some good angles. All right. Escape. And then I'm going to probably put maybe a crossroad. Maybe right here there can be a courtyard with a well in the center. It's lined with bushes. Maybe there's a crossroad. Maybe you have some important structure here, structures here, and little tiny ones all along the road with big ones as well. So something to this, somewhat like this. This is the somewhat of the design. Some areas can be a forest, stuff like that. But this is the general idea. And I'll go ahead and select this all. I'm going to group it, of course, and label it. Let's go and group. And I'm just going to rename it, of course, and just call it guide. And as always, when I select it, I like to bring the opacity down and drop it to layer like -5. So that way I don't have to see it over on top of the stamps that I'm putting down. Good morning, Wando41. Welcome. Hey, yeah, lots of good folks in here. I'm digging it. Hoo-hoo-wee. Can't go wrong here. Okay, so first let's just take care of that road part, and we'll do a courtyard. The reason why I'm adding in a courtyard is because some people have asked me, like, how do you make platforms where you're showing like several tiers or platforms where things are on top of, like a structure or a building. And a lot of people are kind of confused, like, how do I make that? So I'm going to help you with that a little bit. I'm going to use a wall, and I'm going to basically have the entire road be bricked up on the sides. Let's go with I think this red brick should work just fine. Okay, I'm gonna scale it down. And first I'll make that road, okay? And I'll make that courtyard. So first, let's go ahead and place these down. Let's go ahead and change the shape a little bit. This way, okay, copy, paste. The beauty is that you can always copy and paste things, and it works really, really well. So I'm gonna try to make a decent size square here. Just gonna copy and paste everything. This is the part that's just slightly time consuming, but it's okay. We may have something in mind to alleviate the pain of wall creation. Yeah, platforming is extremely difficult. So I wouldn't say extremely difficult, but it's confusing because how is it that you determine that it is a layer up? And you know, the real secret is just ambient occlusion. If you want something to feel that it has depth, you're just gonna have to paint some ambient occlusion that's a dark texture, whether it's black, a flat black texture, or whatever texture you want to use, make it dark, and you're going to put it underneath. That's how you really determine. And the more the ambient occlusion, the more darker and the more spread out the ambient occlusion is at the base. That means the taller that it will be, okay? All right, so we've got that, and let's see here. I might increase the size because I want to make this a fairly zoomed in, just a couple buildings. So I made the guide kind of small. I should make it a lot bigger, but we'll start with this. Okay, this is good. And you know what's also really fun is you can also play with varying shapes. So here I made a square, but maybe it's more fun to go with a more unique shape. So I'll do something a bit more different. What's really fun is coming up with unique ideas, because a simple platform is simple, right? It's just a square or a triangle or a circle, but we'll do some unique shapes. And we're going to create just one face first, one side, and then you get to copy, paste, and rotate all of them from there, okay? So I'm going to add a kind of a little bit of a circular, half circle shape. I'm going to connect these two like this, turn all the shadows off, because we'll deal with shadows later. So we'll go with none for now. And then I'm just going to select this whole thing, copy, paste, rotate it. And then I get to copy paste the rest of it and then rotate it again, okay? So we'll go like this. Let's put it on top like this to make sure that the distance is about the same. We're gonna copy paste one more time the whole thing, rotate the whole thing. Now you have this kind of unique platform shape, something unique and different. And it can be decorative. There's some villages are absolutely beautiful. If you've seen them, wow, just the architecture, the design, everything, just gorgeous. So we have this unique shape here. All I did was create a square and then put half circles on the sides. Now I can go ahead and rotate it like this and put it at that angle that I wanted. And of course, I'm going to change even more things. So it will be a lot more to it than just this. So let's go with this, a bit bigger. I think the square should be kind of the center part of the town. So we'll put it, make it large, somewhat central. Okay. Let me just take a look. All right. And then we have to factor in the road part as well. And there might not be any carriages on this road. We can make what's called pylons. They're like concrete or stone pillars that are only maybe about a couple feet high. And what those pylons are designed to do, just like in our time, pylons are meant to stop cars from going into certain areas. So way of restricting access from carriages. So if you wanted to cordon off an area for carriages getting to some place, you would throw in some pylons. And that will make sure that there is no access, no thoroughway for any kind of carriages. So if you have an important figure that lives in this village, like the mayor or whatever, the governor, whatever, things like that, then you have these pylons maybe leading up to their house so that no one can kind of get there. Maybe only a horse could get through and not a carriage. So we've got the square. Let's go throw in a fountain as well. Okay, oopsie, I don't know how to spell. All right, so now that this will really determine the scale, because the fountain here is the next item that I'm putting down. And I want to factor in how big people will be at this point. So let's just make it a little bit smaller. I think actually that looks fine. put that in the center. I'm going to line it up with this. Okay, that looks good. Now, when it comes to the whole showing depth with your platforms, what you want to do is a couple options. You could use layer shadows, object shadows. With object shadows, you'd have to direct each shadow in the right direction. So instead, it's actually easier just to paint it. So let's fill in this with a texture first. We're going to pick one. I like stone textures quite a bit. And we're just going to lay down a texture for now. And I'm not going to use a directional one. You notice there's a directional stone right here. When you use directional textures like this, you might have to rotate them periodically as you put them down so it's not all facing in the same direction. So by using a cobblestone, this stone wall texture right here, you're doing less work. You don't have to do all this rotating and stuff like that. Let's also go to advanced settings and change the size. Whenever you're scaling things down below 100, you'll likely have to scale down textures with it. So for now, I'll do this one. Let's just go ahead and put it in. Make sure it's set to the right layer, BG. Turn off softness, because I'm filling in something within the line, so I don't like to have softness. Instead, I like to have it just be a hard edge like this. Easier to fill in things, of course. All right. Okay. Part of the courtyard, and we might even want to change the walls to be gray. I should have just used gray walls, but if you make a mistake and you know you can fix it by just doing something like changing the saturation, go for it. I'll go ahead and change the brightness just a little bit as well, or I can make it really bright. Let's see here. Do I like it brighter or do I like it darker? I think I like it a little bit darker, so we'll go with that, okay? All right. All right, let's throw in some buildings real quick so that I have something to measure things by. So we'll go back in here, type in composites next to my misspelled fountain. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't be shy. Okay, let's throw in some buildings. I think this looks about the right size for a building. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll throw in a large one right here. In this corner, let me take a look where everything is. It's always nice to look at the composite first to figure out where a possible door might be. So let's move this one up to here. And I'm going to probably put a door or a window or some staircases in this little open section right here. And I'm going to resize the map too as well. And there's nothing wrong with resizing the map. That works great. Okay, let's do this one. Put one along here. Just going to keep going through a bunch of them. Let's see. Let's put this one here. A circular one sounds great, so let's put that one up against here. I'm going to create some space too away from the fountain, so we'll do that too. Put one here, actually, put more space in there. Rotate it. Okay, rotate this one just a little bit. Sweet. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and throw in a road so we can add in more stone. We can throw in a different stone as well later. First, let's just go ahead and bring the opacity down, and we'll go ahead and just paint stone, and we're going to create a road. There we go, going right here. All right. That looks good. Okay, and you can also brick or line your roads. So I can go in and just use this same one right here. Okay, drop that saturation. I'm going to turn layer off. And I'm just going to drop the saturation on it. I could just use gray, but I don't want to go to the catalog to find it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a series of kind of bricked, let's call these retaining walls, where we'll put some grass or lawns in between the negative spaces. So the whole thing's going to be a series of platforms. So this will be kind of fun. Let's use some smaller ones. Whenever I'm trying to ring something to create some kind of circle shape, I like to just use these smaller segments, and the tighter the ring is, the smaller the segments are going to be. So if you wanted to make a ring, you could just rotate them by 10-degree increments at a time like this. So we're going to go like this. This is how I go about making more complex circular shapes, because these circle shapes don't always, these shapes don't always work when you're trying to make a complex shape. So using these smaller pieces is what allows you to make more complex shapes. So we'll go back and we'll do that again real quick. So I'm using these smaller ones. Let's go to use a medium size. I think it should be okay. Actually, no, I actually want to create some good curve. So we'll go right here. I like me curve. Like this. I want to create some shape, or some space between this and this here. Okay, let's keep going. Let's curve a little more this way. All right. Keep going. All right, now that we've done that, I can go with a larger shape. Put this in, I've got that nice curve there. Again, just those smaller sections work much, much better when you're wanting to create more unique or more custom shapes. All right, let's throw in this one and this one as well. Okay, all right, so we got that. Let's also ring this off, and we can even probably use this one. This might work okay. There we go, that works great. Let's take a look over here. Yep, let's do that same thing. We'll use these smaller pieces, and we'll kind of create a ring with spaces. Oopsie, ooh, that looked like a bug. I know that I mentioned that one before in the past. Okay. What button do I press for the angles? So I'm using the control key, and I'm holding it down while using my mouse scroll wheel to rotate, and it should move at 10-degree angles. Let's just verify that. Set to 0. Oh, sorry, 15-degree angles. Okay, so mouse scroll wheel. Make sure to hold down your control key, and you get to see the spinny piece make its way over to here. I hope that helped critically Mercy. And there are no silly questions, by the way. None whatsoever. When it comes to the tool, there's so much. I mean, look around. There's so much options, so much going on that it can be easy to get confused about something. That's okay. So if you don't know something, ask. You won't be able to do it unless you ask, right? Let's go ahead and continue ringing this off. Ooh, great, awesome. Yes, it will save you so much time, right? Oh my gosh. Go crazy. I totally understand. Oh, we got a first time. Dude Spark, I use these buttons to change angles by 15 degrees. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Dude Spark. Appreciate it. Awesome. I love how helpful our community is. It's fantastic. So I'm going to continue making these platforms, and then we'll give them shadows so that you know that there's some height there. First, I'm just going to ring off to create the negative space, which is going to be my roads. Okay, let's take some longer pieces because this is a lot more space. So I'll go ahead and just use these longer pieces. Like this, there we go. And let's go ahead and use the smaller ones to create a bit of a sharper angle. There we go. Awesome. I just love how helpful our community is. It's disgustingly wonderful. I love it. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's keep rotating a couple of these. Time consuming, I know, but it really, really looks nice when you take the time. So let's go ahead and add in more right here. There we go. Okay. So now that we've done that part, I can go in and make all of this lawn. So I'll go in with the greenery here, bring that softness down. If you're ever filling in something, again, just bring the softness down to 0. That way you can just fill it in with a hard edge. Because if you did it with soft, you're going to notice that it's going to be a bit different. You have to kind of get in a little bit closer. You might go over the edge. So a hard edge like this just is what you need. So now you have some lawns here. Some nice grass sections, as you would kind of expect, right? You would expect these people's areas right here would be with some lawn space. Put one here. All right, there we go. Good so far. All right, let's go ahead and go back. I'm gonna bring that softness back up and bring the opacity down. And I'll go ahead and just throw in the rest of the gravel part of the road here. And I'm gonna change this center part as well and change that texture. I don't think we need the guide anymore. We've kind of put it together enough, so I can just go down, take the guide, it's locked, and if I just unlock it and then press the delete key, it should go bye-bye. I think I have to be in select mode first to do it. Select, there you go. Right, so you have the basic shape. So far, so good. Push this one in a little bit more, I think, and we're gonna have to create some entrances and stuff like that, and then we can get to the burning part. I know, I got you all riled up for the burning part, and it's like, we're not, come on, can we get to the fire part? Can we get to the burning part? You promised us fire, and there's no fire, Matthew. You got a fountain, water. It's the opposite of fire. What's wrong with you? I led you on, I know. False advertising. Very rude, right? Okay, all right, looking good so far. Let's go ahead and throw in a couple more buildings in the negative space. Ooh, that's a deep one. Let's throw this one in right here like this. I think that'll be just fine. Don't worry, we're getting to the fire. We're gonna put some fire-breathing goats in here, don't worry. You just can't go wrong with fire-breathing goats. There's never something sane in my streams. I'm sorry, there just isn't. Let's go with this stone floor here. I'm gonna rotate it. Let's see here. I kind of want to line it up with the right angle. Let me change the size a bit. That one's fine. And again, drop that softness down. That's true. You gotta build a bridge before you burn it. That's true. All right, we're making a village. Okay, and we're burning it down. I'm sorry, inhabitants of this village. Okay, and I think I might make this a step going down. So if I put some stairs in here, instead of having this being a platform that's up, it's actually going down. And the way that you decide what is up and what is down is where you put the shadow, okay? So if I put the shadow on the inside of that formation of walls, that means that the wall is on the inside. If I put the shadow on the outside, that means it's a platform going up, okay? Let's go ahead and just do that real quick. I'm gonna go with black, just black color. If you can use a darker brick texture if you want. You just go to filters and drop the brightness down, okay? And if you do any changes like that, make sure that you favorite that, okay? So now it's here. It's because what's gonna end up happening is that as you're adding more and more textures to the recently used section, some are gonna get bumped off. And then you'll be like, oh no, I forgot the settings for this texture, and yeah, believe me, that will happen, and it's frustrating. Okay, now when it comes with shadowing, you're gonna probably wanna drop or bring the softness all the way up, and I'm gonna bring it down to about 46 opacity. Let's go with 75. Okay, let's just apply it real quick. So if you want it, again, if you want it to show that this part is raised up, then I would bring the shadow on the outside. Let's go up even more. I'm not sure how dark I made it. Let's find out. Ooh, I think I go up even more. You know, I think I'm actually gonna end up using black instead. I think I like it more. Let's go with 37 for now. And I'm gonna put a shadow underneath on the outside, okay? Again, that's the part that shows you that it's raised up. So we'll go all the way around. Oopsie, well, I didn't want to do that part. Nice. We'll go all the way up and kind of let it go out a little bit. Let it go out. Okay, bring the size down a little bit more. Bring the opacity up, and then get a nice, harder, darker edge on the inside. But don't let it go out from the first pass that you did, okay? All right, just like this. Again, this is ambient occlusion, and you're just trying to show that there's depth there, because it's contrast that's going to create that. So if you look at it and you take a step back, you'll see a huge difference between this shadowed one right here be painted in and this one right here, right? And this one. Very flat. it doesn't look like it's popping out. So that ambient occlusion is really the trick to creating those platforms to get them right, okay? So ambient occlusion. Now with this one right here, I want to show that this is a step going down, or steps going down instead of up. So how do I go ahead and do that? It's going to be, the shadow is going to be on the inside where the fountain is, okay? So I'll go in like this, bring the shadow on the inside, and it's just the same thing we did in the last one. It's really as simple as that. The beauty of this. Is it time consuming a little bit? Yeah, of course. It's a little bit. But it is totally worth it because it does wonders. Okay. Go up to a higher opacity, bring the size down and get that hard edge. And then of course we're going to add some stairs because you just fall off into this thing, or yeah, you just fall into it. Hey, just don't look, close your eyes, face first. That's the way to do it, right? All right, getting in the nice dark light in there. Okay, keep going. All right, sweet. And we'll have to end up doing this to all these platforms, of course. All right, now if you look down, hey, first time chatter, Zender, welcome. Bye. Oh, nope, that's not good. I almost read the naughty part outside. Oh, loud. All right, as you can see, there's some shadow, and it looks like it's going down. So that's great, right? So let's go ahead and add in some stairs, of course. Those stairs, if I know how to spell it right. Okay. All right, now that we have stairs, we can pick one, and we want to look at how big our buildings are, right? Okay, so we could say that this section right here just leads right into, let's look at the fountain real quick. I think about this size looks about right, so I'll put it right on top. And I'm going to turn off the shadow. I don't really need it on right now. And just so it matches with the same material, I'll just drop the saturation down. Hey, yeah, you know, I always want to include more than, you know, I mean, I could have just made this village off stream and then put some flames on it and be like, hey, and I just thought, well, that's probably not going to be helpful for a lot of people. So I went with a different route. Okay, now let's do some stairs going down. Let's think about something a little bit more unique. I think there might be some corner stairs. Let me take a look. Are there? No, I don't see any. Let me expand all real quick. Let me see here. I thought I remember there being it's kind of a unique staircase, and I don't see it. Well, that's unfortunate. Hello, Witchy. Welcome. Glad that you are here. Sweet. We haven't got to the burning part yet, but we will. I promise you. I will deliver. We will get to the burning. I promise. Okay. Well, that didn't go as I hoped it would, but that's okay. So I'll probably put some stairs going down right here in each corner. Or not corner, sorry, on the circle here. I'll desaturate and I will bring it down so at least it matches similar. And I can go ahead and place these on each side right here. So that way people can go down, and we'll probably decorate it with some benches as well. And maybe even add some grass in there for fun as well. Because if you're gonna have a square, your square wants to probably be a little decorative, right? So we'll go and throw it in here like this. All right. I could probably push this stuff a little further back. I'll probably end up resizing as well. It happens. So I could probably bring this further up, I think, to create a little bit more room. That would probably work a little better. Things are gonna change. It's just the way it goes. Change is inevitable. It's the only constant in the universe. Okay, there we go. Of course, I'll just have to repaint those, of course. It happens. Okay, we'll throw in the texture here. Alright. Let's go all the way up. And softness is fine. There we go. Oopsie, that's a darker variation. Oopsie, recently used. There we go. What was I doing? Not so smart. Okay, let's go back down to opacity here. There we go. We'll repaint in these sections. Alright. Yes. Feel free to ask any questions. Do not be shy. Seriously, there are no dumb questions, okay? Why is it not burning yet? I want to see the world burns. Where is the burning? I have been misled. This is false advertising. So angry. So angry. Who's in charge of this operation? Send me to your XO immediately. Whoa. Oopsie. What'd I do here? My mistake. There we go. All right. Keep going. We just need to keep going. Trudging on. All right. Add some curve there. Sweet. All right. We're getting there. Gotta build it up to burn it down. All facts. All facts. We're gonna get to that part. Don't you worry. We almost there too. We almost is a burning. You will get your fill. Don't you worry. You'll get it. You'll see. Of course, I'm expecting a flying chicken once again. No, this time, Witchy, we're doing flame-throwing goats who spit fire, and that's what's starting the fire here. Okay? You see, I mean, can't go chicken every time, right? I mean, it's an ongoing theme, but we gotta, lay it to rest once in a while. Instead, we're going flaming goats. I knew you'd be okay with it. I didn't think anyone would have a problem with that. You don't like flaming goats. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, come on. Get with the program, folks. All right. Okay, I'll go in. I'll also throw in some grass. So let's figure out where we want to get some benches. A rotisserie chicken? A rotisserie. All right, 1 second. Let me type in bench. See what we got here. Oh, yeah. We could do stone benches. We could do wooden benches. Lots of different options here. You could kitty corner the benches in like this. You could throw in maybe the benches are here like this, and you have to go around them. Let's see here like this. Lots of different options you can go with that. Let's bring this down a little bit. There we go. And we'll put one in each corner, or one in each side like this. Okay, and if we're just sitting there minding your own business, anyone can walk up right behind you and just thug you upside the head. Yeah, I don't know why I went there, but just deal with it. Blazikins? No. It's gonna be goat fire. All right, it's goat fire. That's what it is. Goat fire. All right, we've done that part. Let's go ahead and painting in our ambient occlusion for all of our platforms. So that softness around in between 30 and 40 is what you want. And I'm just going to do each pass, the first pass for every single one of them. That's generally the route I like to go. Is just do a single pass first, and then go to the next one, and then do that pass, and then you can do each step. So we'll do this one next. Okay, make sure we get all of that. All is the ambient occlusion. Okay. A goat farting flames. You know what? I'm sold on that. Forget flame throwing out of their mouths. It's got to come out of their bum. I'm sold. I am officially sold. And the question that needs to be asked here is, what did they eat? I mean, is the goat's name Fire Ass? I think it is. That's it. The Fire Ass goats have taken over the village, folks. Yikes. That is a very dangerous situation. I just want you to know that. Not good. Not good. Ghost peppers. Obviously. Duh. You know what? I got fire ass when I get ghost peppers. Woo! Let me tell you. Youch. Them ghost peppers. They're ghost your ass. I know. I know. Okay. All right. Where are we at for time here? Ooh, 40 minutes? Ooh. It's been 40 minutes and there has been no fire. This is blasphemy. We're at the top of the hour and there's no fire. This will be remedied immediately. Okay, thanks for bearing with me on this one. The ambient occlusion is always extremely helpful. Oh, all right. Okay, here we go. Let's take a step back. Make sure that I have all the ambient occlusion correct. I'm probably going to want to also put it on these stairs a little bit right here as well. Okay, and we're going to keep adding stairs. So I'll just copy and paste, put the next staircase probably leading in right here into this section. And then we'll add another staircase probably leading to this section. Right here, we can put another one on the other side. So you just need an access to these platforms, right? You want to be able to get to them. So let's go ahead and throw that one in there. I think that's good. We could even throw in another one in the back side. There could be a back door going in this way. Right there, okay. And let's not have it be directly across from this. So maybe I'll put it at an angle right here instead. There we go, much better. So now you have those platforms. Let's go ahead and save it. I asked for fell fire, but Mati preferred the goat fire farting. Goat fart blue fire. Could be purple. Hey man, yeah, it could be any color. I don't know. Maybe we can have a multicolor, fart fest with these goats. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe that's just the way we gotta go. I mean, why leave out any specific color? We're just gonna go with the rainbow. That way we're not excluding anybody. Rainbow fire, hell yes. In HD. Yeah. Now we're talking. All right. Oh, we're saving. Da, 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 da. I'll take a vowel for 500. Okay. All right, sweet. We're gonna keep going. Now we also need to paint in that ambient occlusion for the buildings. You could just select them all. So if you just select one, click that hamburger menu, select all from this set, it will select every single one of them. And instead of layer, go with object and make sure the shadow is centered. So 0, bring the shadow out and bring the opacity all the way up. Okay, so now you were able to use object shadows to create the kind of ambient occlusion that you need. If it's not enough, then you'll have to go in and paint it some more, of course, which I am going to end up doing, because that dark line underneath is really what kind of creates the depth. So I always like to do that if I can. Lots of different ways to do shadows, by the way. I think an episode on shadowing might be a good idea, because there's a lot of different ways to do shadows. You can paint it in, you can use the path tool. I know, path tool. I know. Don't tell me, I know. Okay, paint this in, and I am going to use the path tool because there is a part, these corners up at that part I just did, they're overlapping, so we're going to have to do that. So, cool. A mini demo on the shadowing. Sweet biscuits. Now we're talking. Okay, add in that dark line here, of course. Love it. There you go. Sweet, good. Got that dark line in there. That's what I want. Same thing here, add in that dark line. And we're also going to have to paint, and I think I screwed up too. I'll probably have to repaint this shadow because I still need to create the roadway leading, the path leading to these. So I'll have to go back and go into texture, grab this road texture again, and let's increase my size and just have some brick kind of leading to the house here, of course, and maybe a little path leading to the door that's going to be right there. And we'll line that path with bushes so that it looks like it's kind of encasing the path. And you see that a lot, where you'll see bushes, some plants lining up to it. You. No, you. Alright, so this goes kind of the back door, so we'll go up to the side here. There we go. Path leading up to here. Alright. Let's take a step back, see where we're at. Yeah. Oh, let's do this one right here. Naughty. Almost missed it. What's going on here? Okay. Let's go ahead and definitely within the next 15 minutes we will get to the fire pot. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and look for our bushes. Some bushes right here. We could use grass. There's a lot of different things that you can use to create bushes or hedges, if you will. Let's go ahead and do it this way. Let's go down a layer. I want to make sure it's below the building. And I'm just going to place these, line them around like this. So you have this nice kind of path leading to the structure. And so I'm just rotating them again with the control and mouse scroll wheel. So you have this nice path just leading up to it. And we might even want to consider maybe putting bushes around the whole thing if you want extra details, because the more details you add, obviously the better it's going to look. There is overkill, and it's hard to really decide, you know, where that overkill, like when that line gets crossed. Sometimes simple is best, just depends on what you're going for. So with the fantasy battle map style, this particular style, I think a lot of people choose it for its detail, the amount of great rendering and the detail in the style. And so, you know, adding in details is kind of nice, follows with, I consider the quote-unquote spirit of the style. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look and see how we got. Oh, that looks good. Let's add some more bushes in here. Now, are they below? Nope, they're above the brick. Perfect. So now I can go ahead and just let me apply like this, see how close together they are. That's fine, so I can drag. Let's bring the sides down just a hair. And I'm going to line the entire place with bushes like this. I'll go across. I'm going to turn off my random rotate. Actually, no, we'll keep random rotate on. No, we'll turn it off. I think it should be okay. We'll go all the way around like this. And we'll create little hedges going around. Oopsie, you know, I think the random rotate works better. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Naughty. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, let's go with random rotate. Perfect. And I'm going to bring the size up just a little bit more. Oh, you can do it. There we go. And I'm not going to ring the whole thing, just make a couple segments of it. Okay, we're almost there. We're getting to the fire path, I promise. Make some bushes here. Let's go ahead and line this one. It just looks nice to throw in little extra details. All right, there we go. We're doing good. Let me take a step back. If you don't know how to pan the screen, by the way, hold down the space bar and just click and drag, okay? And you'll be able to move the canvas. It's probably a lot easier than going out and then in and then out and then back in again and then out. Yay! Isn't that fun? In and out and in and out. Ah! Okay, setting line changes. Let's save it. We're almost to the fire part. Yippee skippy. The part you've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please. Yeah. We're getting to the pyro part. Yippee skippy. My favorite part. Ooh, ooh, burn it down. Burn it down. I got a lot of pent up frustration and I want to let it out on these innocent villagers and their houses. Yes! Just direct that frustration in the right direction, right? Okay. All right. You know, I think for now we can throw in more details later. Well, actually, yeah, let me do the path tool real quick because we do have 10 more minutes. So let me just show you real quick how I do shadows with the path tool, because you'll notice right here that the ambient occlusion just stops. So if you look right here, you'll notice like, well, wait a minute. What happened to the shadow right there? Okay. Well, not hard to fix. This is pretty easy. We're going to switch over free draw. You're going to switch to blur. You're going to switch the shadow to black. You can just turn the blur shadow part off. It's already going to be blurred. And you're going to bring the opacity down and bring the size up. Let's just apply it real quick and see how it looks. Let me bring it up a little bit more because I want it to be close to this color up there. Okay, that brightness. About there works fine. And then you just go in like this and just connect the two. Boom, shadow done. We're going to go over here, do the same thing to this one. Put a little bit of shadow right there. So that way you have the continuity with that shadow, right? Because it will look weird otherwise. Perfect. Let's go look around and make sure nothing else I missed. Looks like there's one right here as well. Go ahead and put that path over that. Okay, let me take a look over here. Yes, I did miss one right here. Perfect. Okay, just want to make sure that we're not making any mistakes here. So let's put another one right here and another one right here. There we go. So now that we have that ambient occlusion, shadows are a must. Let me take a look. Looks good. We can delete that cute little path there. I hope that helped. Using paths can help you to fix little mistakes like that, because unfortunately the shadows sometimes might not be enough to go over. As you're painting shadows, sometimes object shadows aren't enough. There's a limit to the range of object shadows, and so you might have to do either painting or using the path tool. And both work just fine. Actually, to use them in tandem works just fine. Let's take a look here. 13 changes. Okay, so let's go ahead and add some filters. And I'm going to also mention a little bit about the story real quick. So I was thinking that one of these would be an inn, and all of your players, if you're a DM, all your players are staying in one of these buildings in the inn. They're maybe woken up by the sound of commotion. Maybe a bell is ringing, and they look out their windows and they notice a glow coming out of the window and flames from maybe in the distance or maybe up close to them. And so, of course, this calls them to action. They quickly get dressed and they go downstairs, and this is where maybe you want to start putting in what you want to do. Are you going to do your best to go to the fountain, walk over to the fountain with buckets and start throwing water to put it out? Are you going to, is there a baby or somebody inside one of these buildings and they are trapped and they need someone to come in and help them? So lots of cool things that you can add in there. Like I said earlier, if you fail, because there's always a chance of failure, and that's fine, and you want to use the failure to advantage to continue to propel the story, right? So maybe one of those buildings burns down and inside, or it burns to the ground, and then the next day you notice that there's maybe a cult cellar that's been revealed, and now it's time to go down into that dungeon. You remove all the debris and go down into the dungeon. Okay, so if it's, whether it's victory or failure, either way it propels the story. You move forward, okay? All right. Now, I was also thinking that what makes fire really fun and interesting is not a fire during the day, but a fire during the night. So what we'll do is we'll apply some filters to it. First, I'm going to apply some fun filters. Let's go with a night filter. Okay, and the night filter needs to be at layer 4. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you want your light sources to be on layer 5. So let me boost it all the way up. That's a little too dark. Let's go with about there. So now it's nighttime, as you can see. Now, the next step is to also figure out where the direction in which your wind is blowing. So I'm going to use a path tool to represent that. I'm going to use this segment right here. Let's decide the direction of the wind. And the reason why that's important is because the direction of the wind will determine where the flames will hop next. So let's figure out the direction. If the wind is blowing in this direction, like this, and if this is where the fire starts, then this building will catch fire. Okay, now winds can change. You want to add in, you could say that the wind changes an hour into the fire or 15 minutes later, and the wind rotates this way. And now the rest of the fire will catch and go over here. Okay, so there's lots of different things that can happen. So we got to pick that direction. I think the original one was this one, and I think that works just fine. So it's going to be going that way. And we're also going to want to throw in our flame-throwing goats. Yeah, because you can't go wrong with that. That's going to be the source. So first, let's just experiment a little bit with fire. Let's start with the source, with the goat. So I'll type in goat real quick. Unless you want them to be flame-throwing bunnies, I don't know. Let's take a look. I know we got goats in here. There we go. Oh, you know, I like this guy right here. This guy is pretty cool. I'm digging it. Let's see here, about that size. If you want, they can be like mega goat, ultra mega goat, massive. It's as big as your Bentley. Wee! Wee! Now, I'm kind of thinking we'll go with something a bit smaller, and we'll probably have them over here catching this building on fire. Sounds like a magical experiment that gone wrong. I mean, come on, man. Most magical experiments go wrong, right? I mean, what kind of magical experiment would it be if it went right? There's no story there. The story has to go wrong. It has to go wrong before it can go right. You can make it right. Okay, so we added in our goat. This is just the starters. We can put in multiple goats catching multiple buildings on fire. That's up to you. I really like the flame stamp from Fantasy Regional. I do think there are fire stamps in here, but they're not really my favorite. We could maybe incorporate the both of them. Like this one right here is pretty good. This one is pretty good right here because it shows like directional flames. So we could throw that one down. Again, you want it to go up. We'll take it all the way up a layer. So that way it's not diminished. You see if I put it below, it gets greatly diminished. That's why we put the flame, that's why we put that night filter on layer 4. So that way I can put my flames and light sources and stuff like that on top of that to give it the glow. And again, I use the night filter because I really want to accentuate the fire and that eerie glow, you know, in the middle of the night. So it's a little bit more, accentuates more of the fire. So, and during the day, clearly it's not going to be as, whoa, dramatic. Okay? So I've thrown in my goat, I've got my fire source, and is it coming out of the bum or is it coming out of the head? You know, maybe we can do a little bit of both. One that comes right out of the tush. Yeah, there you go. Whew! A nice curvature there, too. I like that. Looks good. All right, those ghost peppers really kicked in. Boom! Sorry, blacksmith, but your house is officially on fire. True no Kami. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. All right, so these flames are getting a little fiery in here. The goat is having a bit of a bowel movement episode, and it seems to be happening right there on someone's house. I'm very sorry to hear that. So we'll stick with these original flames for now because we can change them as we see fit. So what's going on here? Yeah, I love having new people in the chat. Okay, let's put a couple on here. Let's do this one here. Get some flames in there. Make it a little bit bigger. We really want it to catch. Like this is a really, I mean, just a really bad movement for this guy. Just ow, painful. I mean, ugh. That's I don't want to be on the receiving end or on the other side either. Both sounds awful. That situation sounds terrible. Let's just try to avoid that, shall we? Okay, and then from there we can go in, and I really like these flame stamps because I just overall like the look of them. So if I go to flame, and I'm going to search all styles, and they'll pop up from Regional HD. I just really like these flames. I think they look really cool. And they're a little bit more rendered, I think, than these ones. If you can see the difference, the way that they're rendered. This one has a little bit more red in it, has a little bit more orangish feel to it. I really like that, so I'll probably throw these ones in here. So I really like these. And so we're going to throw those in there. We'll throw in light sources. And we're going to do all kinds of fun stuff because really, fire is fun. It's really fun, right? We're finally to the burn part that everyone asked for. Okay. Ooh, absolutely, that could be true. True no Kami. Can't say that I can disagree with that. Okay, throw in some flames here. Let's throw in some smaller ones because they want to be look like it's growing just a little bit, and then we'll throw in some light sources. Okay, So you have to, of course, have the source where the flame came from, this goat's butt. It's going in a direction, and I think we'll have these kind of sticking out a little bit this way, so kind of create a conflagration here. There we go. Okay. Next, we're going to add in a light source. And we're going to play with blend modes because there's a lot of different fun things that you can do with light sources and how we want this fire to really look. Okay, so first I'll just put it down on top and just see how it looks. It's kind of adding that glow that I'm looking for. So we might place one down on top first just to make sure that it gives that red eerie glow just like we want. I'm going to place another one down. I'm going to put it on top. There we go. We're getting that glow. Let's make one more, a larger one, put it on top. There we go. Now we're really getting that red fiery, and whatever this goat skin is made out of, clearly flame retardant, right? I mean, it's clearly not flammable. So, hey, whoever's groomer that, whoever's taking care of that goat, man, they are taking really good care of that skin. Might be the vitamins, I don't know. Whatever's causing that goat is set. That's fireproof skin there, okay? That's one tough goat, all right? So you've added in you've added in several light sources to really amplify the flames, right? That's what we want. That's great. So now we can go in and add in some more flames. And what's really nice is that they'll really pop out due to that light source. So we'll have them going in here. Keep going. Oh yeah, if anyone has feedback, feel free to put in the chat. I am game. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so there's our first one right there, the first one. So not a very unhappy goat. I mean, things just didn't go well. Okay. All right. Ooh, I love all this information. Thanks, everyone. I'm really appreciating everyone's feedback. That's great. Thank you. So goat number 1 is down. Let's go ahead and add another goat, and maybe we'll have it come out of their mouth instead of their bum, because hey, those ghost peppers, it can go wrong at both ends. Okay, I mean, it can go wrong at both ends. Let me tell you right now. I come back to a masterpiece. Critical Mercy, welcome. You are back. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and catch something else on fire. We're never satisfied by just one flame-throwing goat. There needs to be several. Yeah, the goat butt fire is a mess. Right, look at this guy. I mean, seriously, just not his day. Thing just went really, really. I mean, things went wrong. I'm sorry. It didn't go well. Youch. Just yikes. All right, let's go ahead and add in the next goat. And I don't know where to put them, so we could maybe catch this building on fire over here. Oh yeah, hanging on a roof. Well, hopefully not on the roof. I mean, you could, hey, what's up? What are you doing down there, man? Why are you catching the building that I'm on top of on fire? Maybe they eat fire. We'll go here, lick those flames. Spicy hot, so good. Lick them flames. Lick them good. Just hanging out right here on a dormer. I'm just gonna hang out in this dormer. They're gonna end up jumping down right here and then probably catching that building on fire. Like, dude, this was my loft. Why are you catching on fire? Now I gotta jump down, catch another building on fire, or jump on another building. Jerk. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna zoom out real quick and look at the space that we have. I've already got some bright fire here, so I'm gonna think about space. I'm gonna think about where else the flame might look good. So let's go ahead and put one over here. And it's coming out of the mouth this time. Yes, goats definitely climb on things, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and continue doing our fire. Go put another fireball. This guy just shot it right out of his mouth. Boom! And we're going to catch this place on fire here. Don't forget to put them on layer 5, okay? At least if you're using a night filter. I mean, other filters too will also diminish the flame. So just make sure that you are aware of that, okay? So we're just gonna have some flame here. You know, we could even have maybe a, you know, someone stabbed a goat and then because they're a bad guy, and then maybe the goat blew up or something. You know, Mortal Kombat style or something. Boom! Okay? Alright, let's keep going. Got a flame here. This goat is right there. Throw in the flames. This building, you are toast. Sorry about that, but you are fire now. No mercy. No mercy. Okay, let's go ahead and throw in those other flames. I do love these things so much. Okay, throw them in. This building is getting the works, unfortunately. Sorry to say, this one is getting the works. Okay, let's also throw in our light source, of course. Make it fairly large. And we'll follow the same pattern. It's going to be 3 of them. So one on top of the other, all 3 of them. Boom. So you can really get that look. Okay, perfect. Some other things that you can do is throw in some sparks to represent like embers flying up, and we'll also add smoke as well. But with smoke, be careful, because if the smoke's too dark, you might black out a whole section of your map, and then you won't be able to, it might be difficult, unless you want to incorporate that into it, like you can't go in that direction because there's a giant pillar of smoke there. So lots of different options. I'm going to drop down the opacity as well, but these sparks will work just perfect for the kind of embers that are kind of coming off the fire, as you would kind of expect. So now we've done that part. Okay, now we've also determined where our direction of our wind. It's going to be going a little bit to the northwest. Okay. I can't do it right. I can't do it. I can't do it. I have failed you all. Okay, smoke. All right, so one quick thing about smoke. I do believe with all the materials that will probably be in these buildings, I would expect the smoke to probably be black and not white, because there's going to be a lot of different materials inside of that house. So all of those are kind of burning. And so we're going to use a black one, and I'm going to drop the opacity down because, again, you don't want it to black out an entire section. So the wind is kind of blowing in this direction. Okay, and we can make this one a bit bigger and then also make sure it's in the same direction. So you have the smoke now rising out. Okay, so we have some smoke over here. I think that works. Let's put them over here. Oh, I have failed you. I did not do the beavers. Do it right. I have let you down. Okay, there we go. Put smoke last. Let's do obscure light. Okay, all right. Yo, mateys. Okay. All right, let's take a look. So far, so good. So we got some flames there. There are some other things that you can throw in there that can be really fun. So for instance, you could take a cloud. I'll show you some really fun tricks. This green cloud will work just fine because then I can go in and change the color. So if I want, I can go in and change the hue to a yellowish color, and I can put it on top like this. And now I'm going to go and change the blend mode. So we can go through the various blend modes and really decide which one is really going to give a little bit more pop. So let's go through these blend modes. If there's any one that you see in particular that you like, let me know, and we'll end up using that blend mode. So let's just start from the top again. Normal, obviously not going to work very well. It's set to normal. We can go with darken. See, it kind of darkens it. Oh, no, we don't really want that. That's a light source, so we want it to be a little bit brighter. So let's not use that one. There's multiply. Same thing, color burn. Oh, that looks cool, but not very realistic. Let's go with lighten. Screen. Color dodge. Ooh, yeah, that one's trip. There's also overlay. Soft light, a hard light. Difference. Whoa, that looks like it's an interdimensional rift into the building where the ghosts are coming out. That's where the goats came from. Interdimensional farting, burping, fire goats. Okay? Yeah. Hey, Brian's here. Yes. The Lord Marshal has arrived. Yes. Oh, cool. I like that too. Saturation. Oh, hey, you know what? I kind of like that saturation right there. That's kind of an interesting interesting shape. I'm not sure. It does create this weird green though, so I'm not so sure that that one will work. So let's try another one. Let's go to the last couple. Color, luminosity. You know, I kind of like overlays okay. Soft light's with hard light, and then I can maybe drop the opacity down. Yeah, I kind of like that. So I'll copy and paste that and then put one here as well. There we go. And the reason why I'm doing that is because what happens if there's maybe fog? Okay, because maybe it's a foggy night. And if that's the case, you know, then you can add in some light sources that are reflecting off of the moisture that is in the atmosphere, that's in the air. So that's going to reflect light. I don't know if you've been driving at night. It's foggy, and you'll notice that your light reflects off of the fog. That's because fog is made of water. It's made of water, and so it reflects that light. So throwing in a couple fog or cloud stamps can also kind of help to give it a little bit more feel to it, right? Kind of nice, all right? And this is Byzantine fire, by the way. So if you're asking, well, how is all those fires catching fire with that moisture from the fog? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's Byzantine goat fire coming out of butts, okay? Don't ever question me again. Just play it around. It's Byzantine butt fire, you understand me? Byzantine butt fire, okay? I don't know if, it's that fire that never goes out, okay? Water doesn't put it out, all right? That's what this is. Byzantine butt fire, and I will have no opposition. You understand me? Okay, so I put in some flames there. Let's throw in a couple extra details. I would expect probably some buckets, a trail of water leading from the fountain to the houses. I would expect maybe one dead goat. Maybe one of the villagers was able to kill one of the goats. How? I don't know, since their skin is apparently flame retardant. So I don't know, be creative. Maybe they found a way to make it work. Blowing up the goat. I don't know. We'll come up with something, all right? We'll come up with something. Don't you worry. All right, so let's show that there's some havoc. So pushing the bench to the side and up against here like this kind of shows a sense of urgency. We've pushed this out of the way. People want to run to the fountain to get the water. So pushing a lot of these out of the way gives us a sense of action, that things are happening, that are going on. So moving all the benches kind of out of the way gives a sense of urgency as people are trying to get there. So let's throw in a couple buckets first. So we'll type in the bucket. It's bouquet. No, it's bucket. It's bucket, not bouquet, all right? All right, so we'll throw in a couple buckets. Let's throw in several here like this. Let's throw one on the ground like this. Okay, now let's do some path fun. We're going to show that there's water inside of this bucket. So let's go ahead and fill it with some water. So we'll take a blue path, turn off the shadows. Okay, and I'm going to put, let me just make sure where these buckets are set to layer 1 and my path is set to layer 5. Let's put it on layer 2. Perfect. Excellent. I summon the flaming butts of joy. Cyborg has an excellent quote. I love that. Excuse me a moment. I summon the flaming butts of joy. There we go. A little more dignified, okay? Just wanted to get it in there. So you take that path tool, just put it right there, and then all you have to do is just change the blend mode. So you can go to darken, lighten, screen, color dodge. Ooh, let's go with a soft light. Let's go with hard light. Lots of different options. Let's go with this difference right here. I like this. Let's also drop the opacity down. So I have that nice water inside the bucket. Okay. Next, we're going to take some blood and we're going to use it as spilt water. So if I type in the blood, yes, blood for the blood gods. And it's not this blood from, it's the other blood. Okay. Get the blood right. Okay. Okay, we're going to use this blood right here. This works perfect. Oh yeah, we'll change all the shadows later. I'm going to save that for probably last. So I'm going to take this blood right here. I'm going to put it right on top to where the blob is coming right on top of the bucket like that. Then we're going to go in to change the hue to blue. Let me go in real quick. That looks like blue to me, and we're going to change the blend mode. And absolutely, we'll get all those shadows fixed. Don't you worry. So appreciate you pointing that out, Cyberwolf. Okay, well, I think that'll work just fine. That one right there. There we go. So now you have some spilt water right there to show the urgency. You know, you can also throw in some maybe dirt being tracked. And one thing that works really well to show what's called a flow of traffic is to use this dry grass texture right here. I use this texture all the time to show dirt, and it works really well. I'm going to drop the opacity down, drop the brightness down just a hair, and then we're going to go in and we'll create some foot traffic. Oopsie, make sure it's set to the right layer. Is it there? Let me check. Let me zoom in. Yeah, there you go. Got some dirt right there. Perfect. Throw in a little more of that dirt. Let's go in a little more. There we go. All right, let's go up all the way, actually. There we go. Now I can really get some dirt. Because you want your roads, if your roads are just pure stone and there's not any dirt on them, it might look like it's not really been traversed. So throwing in some of this dry grass texture really helps to kind of create the illusion of use, that people have been walking from their muddy boots, walking down the road. Maybe it was rainy several nights back, whatever it might be. But showing a little bit of dirt can show that there is actual motion, action, that people are walking around. So throw that in there, and I'll also put it in here as well. So you have a little bit of dirt in there. Perfect. Okay, where are we at for changes? 151. Let's take a step back. So far, so good. Let's throw in one filter. I'm going to add in probably a reddish filter. So because I want to really show that red. So I'm going to go with red sky. And I'm going to probably put it, let's put it down a layer instead. Okay, and let's boost it up quite a bit. There we go. We want to get some reds. I want to get some reds in there. There we go. Now it has that kind of, that feel to it. First time chat viewer. Eliora, welcome. Little torches that make a big difference. No wonder my friends' maps always look amazing. Doggy Crimson, oh, hi. Welcome, by the way. Glad to have you here. I'm also going to take another light source real quick and put it in the center because you would expect a very big glow, right? Just a lot of glow. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to make this a fairly large light. We're really going to boost it up, get it pretty big. And then we're going to go ahead and put it probably right about here. So we really want to get that, really want to show the overall halo of red that you would kind of expect, right? Because it's casting such a large amount of flame. There we go. We'll put it right about there. Okay, perfect. All right. Now we can go ahead and save it. Awesome. Our village is burning. Our goats are having episodes with both ends, and it's having a very drastic effect on the villagers, I'm afraid. They're just going to have a very bad day. I'm sorry to inform you all. The paper's going to read something like this. Last night, fires broke out as flame-throwing goats ended up burping and farting all over the village. I mean, kind of a crazy headline, right? Flame-throwing interdimensional goats with bowel movements destroyed the village. We're going to have a town hall meeting and discuss the renovations. All right, cool, sweet. We're getting in there. I think we can throw in a little bit more flames. I think 2 is a lot, actually. So when you think about your players, just putting out one fire will be quite a bit. So 2 is actually quite good. That sounds like a Tuesday in the Bronx, someone says. Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. All right. I've never been to the Bronx. I think that is in New York. Okay. All right. Let's take a step back. 2 changes we've done. let's see here. There are some other things that I would kind of expect. Let's throw in some more light sources. And what I'm going to do is have them make it look like lights are coming out of the windows. So let's type in light. And there should be some nice window lights, like this one right here. See the shape right here? Looks like a window. And what you can do is you can put it, let's take a look here. We can put one like right here. You could say that there's a big window right here, and it's casting a light coming out of the window there. You could put another one down right here and say that there's a window right here, and it's casting a light. You could also throw down another one, maybe right here. There's a window on this side, casting some light outside the window, and you can even put another one right here, okay? So this way it kind of looks like you have lights coming out of the windows, and it continues to add more to it. You can also include more light where it's being cast outward. I would just bring down the opacity quite a bit. Okay, one moment. Zoom in, and we'll put the light source, copy, paste it, and put it in front of right here. Let's go up a little bit more. There we go, copy, paste. And copy, paste, there we go. Okay, so now we have some lights coming out of the windows. Perfect, so that way it looks like there's more going on. Light sources are, adding light really, really helps to give it lots and lots of character, okay? Okay, now let's go ahead and continue adding a couple more details. Let's take this texture that I used right here, or this one that I used right here. Let me check the luminosity on this one. This was soft light. Okay, let's switch these to soft light. And I think in the franticness of trying to get water out of a fountain, I would expect water to just be everywhere. On the edge there, water fleeing around, people frantically trying to get the water over to these spots. So let's throw in some water floating around. Let's go ahead and bring that one down a layer below. And again, change that to, I think it was lighten. I don't remember. Let's see, which one was it? Screen, hard, a soft light. Shoot, I forgot. There it is. Perfect. Okay. So you would kind of expect a lot of water and maybe even a trail of water because, you know, the buckets are going to leave a little bit of water. So let's maybe make a trail like this of water going over to here maybe. Let's try, I'm going to go ahead and look at part of the map where there's not much action. So here in the center, there seems to be a lot going on right here. Let's put some over here maybe. And it should be going in the direction towards the fire, of course. So putting a trail of water going towards a building that's not on fire doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless you're going to douse that building with water. You kind of want to use something else instead, I would assume. So let's go with soft light, throw that down. Okay. All right, here we go. Water sources, perfect. That's great. I definitely want to make sure that there's tons of water. And then we might even want to consider adding in maybe if you want to show that a battle took place, like maybe the goat has like an arrow stuck in its butt. So maybe I'll throw in an arrow. Just put that arrow right there in the left buttocks, just lodged right in there. Okay. So this showed that the battle took place. I mean, come on now. You got to throw in an arrow on the bum. Okay. They got me right in the buttocks. All right. I want to throw a flame just right there. He got hit. Boom. Right in the bum. Doesn't seem to bother him too much. Or maybe that's why he's mad. He's like, you really ticked me off and I'm going to catch a house on fire. Yeah, see right there, a nice arrow, just boom, right there, right in the buttocks. Ow, sorry, that's the right butt cheek, not the left one. I need to work on my right and left, don't I? Yeah, definitely, I'm gonna work on that. All right, there we go. And you can even put maybe a little bit of blood on top of that, just to make it look like, owie, I got hit there. Let's go ahead and put a smaller one right here, like this. I'm going to put it on top. There we go. So it looks like they got hit with an arrow. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And if you want, you can even create a little bit of a blood trail because maybe they walked over, all right? All right, let's put the trail maybe maybe they got hit over here. Let's bring this down a layer, and let's also maybe drop the opacity. Sometimes if you don't have to always use a blend mode, you can just go ahead and just drop the opacity of something, and it will still work out okay, because you'll notice that it catches the texture underneath it. So sometimes all you have to do is just change the luminosity. If you want maybe a cliff to reflect more of the texture beneath it, provided there's no other texture, no other stamps beneath it, just drop the opacity a little bit and it will kind of catch some of the flavor of the texture beneath it, causing it to blend in more. So again, I didn't even need to change the blend mode. All I did was just drop the opacity, and it kind of works just fine that way, okay? Let's go ahead and throw in some smaller ones, because we were throwing in a trail here of blood. There we go. And then we can throw in a larger one where maybe that's where they got hit. So they traveled over to here. We'll create a little trail. So that's where they got hit, right there. All right, perfect. The blood trail. Blood for the blood gods. Okay. You can still throw in your sparks in front of your windows if you want. You would expect light to show and to be reflecting off of particles that are floating. Since there's a fire going on, you're going to expect a lot of particulates in the air, right? So don't be afraid to throw in some of your, to really throw in these. I'm going to put them up a layer, by the way. To put in those sparks in front of next to your light sources, because again, there's a lot of fire going on, so expect particulates in the atmosphere. Expect that stuff floating in the atmosphere, and of course, you're going to see that in the bands of light. You know, I don't know if you've ever taken a flashlight at night and you're looking around in the forest and you see all these particulates floating in the beam of light. That's what we're trying to mimic here. So throwing in those sparks can really give it a little bit more character, showing the particulates being shown by the light, the band of light that is these source light right here, okay? So it's kind of super helpful. Did I put one in front of here? I didn't. There we go. Got some sparks there. Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. I am most pleased. All right, let's take a step back. Sweet. Yeah, we're getting places. Let's go ahead and save 48 changes here. Where are we at for time? 11:27? Yeah, we're doing good. Whole another half hour. That's perfect, because we can throw in all kinds of fun stuff. Let's throw in a couple more details. Let's put a little bit more stuff floating around on the roads. We want the players to interact with things, okay? I was going to do an interior, but I kind of feel like I don't really have enough time to do that. Actually we do. Let's do an interior real quick, okay? I think that circular building right there, right below, this one right here, works just fine. This is going to work out just great. So the way that I would go about doing this is to put a clipping mask right on top of it. Okay, so if you type in clip, you're going to see some clipping masks, okay? You're going to want to use that hard edge, which is smooth edge, and not the soft edge. You're going to want to put it a layer above, okay? I'm going to put it right on top like this, and you're going to notice that I now have some space to make an interior. So first, let's brick around that. So I want to show that there's some wall there. So let's go ahead and take some walls. Let's use the red ones, and then let's put these together like this to create our walls. Make sure that I have it right. There we go. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Small interior, not large, but it's enough room in there for you to walk in and try to help somebody, okay? Now, let's go ahead and pick a texture we want on the inside. So let's just go with your typical wood. I think that works great. All right, let's see here. This would work fine. Let's go with this one. Let's rotate it, I think. Let's change the size. Much too big at 100, as you would expect. I think about that size looks good. It's set to the FG layer. That's where clipping masks are going to pick up texture on that layer. So Let's add that. I think the wood could be just a little bit bigger, a little too small. That works for him. All right, so throw that in like this. Okay, so now we have an interior. But the one thing you notice is that there's no shadow, right? Because it doesn't look like a wall, it's flat. So we're gonna take that same texture. I'm gonna go to filters. I'm gonna drop the brightness down quite a bit. Quite a bit, there we go. And then I'm going to bring the softness up and drop the opacity to somewhere around 38. Okay, same thing that we did with the platforms. This is that ambient occlusion. So we're just gonna go FG layer only, and we're gonna create the first kind of pass. And I think it's not enough. We need to bring this up a little bit more. So let's go back up to around 50, bring the size down. There we go, much better. Let's create that first little ring of shadow, that ambient occlusion, step 1. Okay, now we can go into 100% and bring down this size quite a bit. There we go. And then let's actually bring the brightness down even more. There we go. I want it nice and dark. There we go. Nice and dark line right here to create the illusion of depth. There we go. Let's do this. Okay, keep going. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, and I'm keeping it on the same floor. So this is the only house that you're going to end up going in, and it's totally optional if your players don't want to go in and help whoever's in there. So it's just a matter of options. Okay, let's also put a staircase. Clearly we want a staircase kind of going into the building. So let's put one right here. Let's put it on top. There we go. Like this. Let's put in another one right here. Actually, let's just stretch it. So we're going to select this one. I'm just going to go with transform. I'm going to change the height. Transform so it fits. There we go. Okay, and I think I want to change the hue. So I'm going to boost the saturation and maybe make it a little bit more, add a little bit more red to it. There we go. So I have a staircase kind of going into this building. I don't know. Let me make sure it's not too big. Is it the same width as this one? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. I want to make sure. There we go. Pretty small building, not very large. That's okay. A lot of the village buildings probably are not going to be massive. So we'll just throw in some basic stuff. Okay, we're going to throw in a bed. And if you want, maybe we can throw in some debris or something that's blocking the door, or maybe there's a goat there. Who knows? We'll see. So let's go take a look at our beds. Ooh, these cute fae beds. That's pretty cute. So small village place. I would not assume a really nice bed. So let's just go with this unmade kind of bed right here. Let's also make sure the size is correct. So this right here is about, the stairs can be, I think this could be about this size right here. Let me just verify that I have that correct. That goat is about that big. There's the bucket. There's the bench. Just want to verify and make sure that my scale is correct. This is a very small building, but you don't need to have a massive building. Okay, let's go up a little bit more. Okay, so one small, let's put it up against here. Let's also throw in a rug underneath. So this interior is just to give another element for your players to like interact. That's all. And of course, with rugs, I try to put them a layer below. Let me see where it's at. Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually bring it up. There you go. All right, perfect. So we got a little bit of a rug in there. And in fact, let's break that up. The structure is already circular, so throwing in a square rug might actually be more interesting. So I'll throw in a square rug instead, because we've already got a lot of circles going on. So throwing in these kind of a square rug might look a little bit more interesting. Add in some straight lines to break up the curved lines, and vice versa. Let's also throw in a dresser drawer probably. As you would expect, there's going to be a place to put items and materials. So we'll throw that in there. Okay, there we go. All right, sweet. There's not much that you need to add, right? It's a very simple little structure. It doesn't have to be a house. It could be something entirely different. Something entirely different. Like this is kind of a small domicile, so instead it could be a storehouse, right? We could delete all this stuff and then throw in some crates. You know, maybe there's some a wheat. Maybe there's food. Maybe there's hay, right? I mean, it's not every building is going to be the same. So if you want, you could throw in a hay pile instead, if you want. So just put that on like that. Now you got your hay pile. Then go ahead and take that dirt texture that we used earlier and just paint it all in like this, because we want to make it look like there is some of that on the ground there. Let me change the rotation of the texture so I can really get as much of those crazy cool artifacts on there. There we go, perfect. Then we can throw that in there. There we go. Now we got some nice artifacts there. And then we'll put it right up against the BG right here as well. There we go. Nice. Okay. Perfect. All right. Yeah, a nice hay pile there. You know, I think also a pitchfork makes sense. So let's go type in tools. Let's throw in a pitchfork in there. So lots of different options that you can choose from when it comes to what you want your interiors to be. Maybe there's something inside of here that your players need to find, right? Lots of different options. It can be a small residence. It could be a tower. You could add multiple floors to it. Maybe there's someone stuck at the top floor. So if you were going to do that, you'd resize and then put a bunch of other circle shapes off to the side in a black region. So lots of different options on that. I think I'm just going to stick with hay for now, but you could fill that with anything you want. The big takeaway that you want from this is that if you want to make interiors from these composites, all you have to do is just throw down a clipping mask, okay? Because the clipping mask is what's going to go on top, okay? So there's also square ones, and all you need to do is just line up the squares to the building, okay? It's really as simple as that. So you want to make an interior to this one, boom, just throw on the clipping mask, make sure it's on top of it, then brick it like you would a well, right? When you dig a well, after you've dug it, you brick the walls going up, right? Same thing. Line the clipping mask with walls, just like we did over here, okay? So lots of different options, and it's up to you with your player, because it just depends on what's happening on the map, okay? Like, are they saving someone from a burning building? Are they combating the fart flame demons? Are they the flaming fart goats? I mean, hey, you know what I mean? So just adding in details just depends on the story, on where you want your players to go, okay? Now let's quickly just touch base a little bit on shadows, because someone had mentioned that earlier. So as you can see, there's a light source right here, okay? So let's do a little bit about shadow work. So let's start with the first one, which should be kind of obvious, the goat, right? Object, shadow, let's just center them first. And then what we're going to do is sometimes I like to use a guideline to help me to know the direction. So for me, it looks like the flames are going in kind of this direction right here and kind of in that direction. So the goat's shadow should be projecting away from the light source. So we'll push it a little bit horizontal this way, and we'll push it a little bit this way. Now, something about shadows you might want to know. The closer you are to the light source, the harder the shadow is. The farther you are away from the light source, the softer the shadow will be. So now this goat is quite close, okay? So we're going to bring the blur down quite a bit, okay? So you can see a lot of the shape. I don't want to push it so far out. Let's do a little bit more. About there looks okay. Okay, remember, this goat is very close to the light source, so expect the shadows to be a bit harder, okay? The further we go away from the light source, the more the shadow is going to blur, okay? So step one, that one's done. We want to do the same thing with this fine fellow right here from the Academy of Burnt Flaming, okay? We're going to go with object shadow. I always like to center it first, so that way I know where to go with it. I'll bring it up, and I'm going to change the blur in just a moment. Let's just change the shadow that way, a little bit more this way. Okay, and then we can bring the blur down. Again, they're close to the shadow. They're close to the flame, so that nice hard shadow. There we go. Okay. Now there's also flame right here, so we're going to expect shadows all along here. All of these benches. This right here is going to cast shadows. So let's go first with every single bucket. We can go with all the benches, including the fountain. And we're going to go with object 0, 0. Okay, a little bit further away, so more blur. So I'll push it a little bit this way first. There we go. Now let me just take a step back just to verify how my shadows are doing. Okay, we're doing all right. Let's go ahead and move it a little bit more. Okay, let's bring in a little bit more harder shadow and bring the blur out a little bit more, and we'll keep pushing it just a tad bit more. There we go. Okay, got those shadows. Let's take a look. We also want to factor in the structures and the shadows from there. So let's go ahead and we're going to do some painting and some texturing. Or some texturing and some shadows. Well, I think the goats were raised by Shrek. I do believe, but I'm not sure. I don't know. Perhaps they were. I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and do some shadowing real quick with texture, and then we'll use the path tool again. Remember, bring that opacity down when you're using black, because if you don't, it's just going to create this solid black shadow, and that won't really look right. You want to paint in a little bit more. So we have a light source right here, so let's paint in a nice shadow right here. You're going to expect some elongated, some shadows kind of going from here. So we'll start with this shape first, and then we can go in with a darker right here. And if that's not, you're not satisfied, you can always paint it down. You can we can undo it if it's too much. So let me just undo that real quick. We'll do it again. We'll bring the opacity down. Okay, let's just bring the opacity down just a little bit more. Let's go with 30. There we go. Okay. Just want to make sure that I get this shadow right. Not too much. There we go. That was about right. And then we'll add in a little bit darker along this edge right here. Okay, so that part's done. Let's also make sure that we add in the shadow all along here. Go ahead and add that shadow in. Okay, looks good to me. Now let's go over here. Let's add in a little bit more dark underneath here. We kind of expect it to be a little bit. Okay, light sources here, here, here. So let's go ahead and put some shadow along this edge here. Away, there we go. That's fine. And let's put some shadow over here. Okay, all right. Now let's also throw in another filter. I don't see any light sources in the corners, so we could also throw in I believe it's a vignette. Well, let me check real quick. Vignette. Let's see how it looks. Yep, that looks good. Yep, that looks fine. Perfect. That kind of darkens out those edges and the corners, and then kind of focalizes or centralizes the light sources in the center to kind of give it a central focus point. So that works out just fine. Great. We have 15 more minutes. We're not going to stop. We're going to continue going. All right, let me take a step over here. I'm just going to look at everything. Cool. I like that one there. That looks fine. Dark over here. Okay, let's do a couple more things. I also want to show you how to do shadowing with stamps. So if you bring the brightness all the way down on a cloud stamp, and then if you place it down, let me go to normal, sorry. There we go. If you take a cloud stamp, it works perfect for doing shadows. So if I bring down the opacity, you can take this shadow, the stamp right here, make sure it's set to layer 5, by the way, up on top. You can put it in this corner right here to show a little bit more darkness. I can copy paste it. I can put a little bit more darkness in this corner right here, and it will look textured as well. So you have interesting little dark things. Copy and paste, add another one. Okay, Let's put it maybe over here. It's a little bit darker in this section right here. And what we can do is we can just drop the opacity down quite a bit to give it a little bit more shadowing. There we go. Let's copy, paste, do another one in this corner over here. There we go. So we can really get those nice clouds, those dark clouds, brightness 0 with a little bit of a lowered opacity, really give some extra shadowing. Just make sure it's set to layer 5 so it affects all the stamps below it, okay? Obviously, you wouldn't want that shadow below. You want it on top, all right? So stamps can work just fine for doing shadowing. Clouds work, they do the wonders, okay? All right, well, let's keep going. I think also we can maybe drop the brightness down of these. These are a little bit further away from the light, so we can maybe just drop the brightness down just a hair, just a bit. Let's go about there, a little bit darker. Let's make this one a little bit brighter. It's right next to the light source, so let's boost up the brightness just a bit. Okay, and there we go. Let's take a look. It's always nice to make sure that you really throw in, the further you are away, you're probably going to want to darken some of the stamps. What about smoke from the fire? Oh, there is right here. You can see a smoke right here as I'm moving it around. It's just projecting right off of it. You can bring the opacity up if you want to see it better. There you go. See? I'm going to bring it up. Same thing with this one. There should be a flame right here, so let me select that. I'll bring the opacity up so you can see it. They're just hard to see, that's all. There you go. Now you can really see them. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. Oh, you are not blind, my friend. It's just they're hard to see. I threw in a bunch of other clouds, right, for shadowing, so of course it kind of just looked like they're just shadowing. But now by making them just a little bit less opaque, they pop out a little bit more. It happens. Don't worry about it. Okay, 83 changes. Let's save. Let's think about the last several things that we want to do on the map. We could maybe put a dead goat. We could put in details. We could have some goat poop lying around. I mean, that's what goats do. They poop. You know, they like to eat and they like to poop. And in this particular instance, they like to shoot and fire flaming whatever they've ate on top of the poop. So maybe we want to throw some poop. Okay? Poop. I'm probably going to keep saying that word because I am 3 years old. Poop, poop, poop. I'm terrible. I'm such a weirdo. Okay. Let's go to, I think, the farm pack. Let me check here. Farmstead. And there should be some ooey gooeys in there somewhere. Let me check. Are the ooeys in here? Oh, yes, there you are. There's the dung, right there. Poop. Animal poop. Very specific animal poop. Okay, legit question. Would the goat poop look like charcoal or cinders in this case? Hey, I love that idea, and you are awesome. Oh, that is, yeah, okay. I probably shouldn't be so jubilant about that, but I am. For some weird reason, I am ever so jubilant about that. Okay, let's do some poop. Let's put some poop lying around. Maybe put a big pile somewhere, because, hey, man, those ghost peppers are spice. It's fire. And I do like that idea, so what I will do is probably maybe throw in some of that. Let me type in ash. I think should be here. Let me double check. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, there we go. This should actually work. Let's put that down on top. Oh, you know what? I actually think this is really cool too. And I forgot to mention this, but this might look really good on top as well. My mistake. Let's go down a layer. And let me make sure the opacity is all the way up because we didn't do the burn part. My mistake. Yeah, we want to do this. My mistake. Let's also turn off the shadow for it. Let's boost the saturation all the way up. And I might want to consider even changing the blend mode. Let me just put it down and just see what kind of options we have here. You know, I think this should work just fine. There we go. And we'll put a couple of them down. There we go. And I'm just going to put these underneath the flames because one thing that I forgot to do was to show the part of that's on fire. I just threw flames on top. What a dumb butt, huh? Why would you do that? You got to throw in these embers. What are you doing? Silly me, folks. I totally forgot one of the most important parts. To put in the embers underneath. So smart. Oh, so smart. I have a very, very big brain. Just want you to know. There we go. My bad. How could I forget that? What a dingleberry, huh? Dork. How did I miss it? How did I do it? Yeah, oh, I totally forgot. Definitely throw in this this burning ash stuff. It looks just great underneath. My bad. Ooh, naughty, naughty. What a goof, huh? There we go. Much better. Now it looks like a little bit more roughed up. We roughed up that roof, and it's nice and burning now. There we go. Yes. My mistake, naughty boy. Okay. Yeah. Let's just take a step back. 23 changes. Light sources look good. I don't want to add in too many. 2 fires seems quite a bit. This looks good. Oh, and you know, this one right here is a little bright. So always remember to try to, oh, there we go. That's why it was a layer on top. There we go. The night filter was not affecting it properly. Naughty. There we go. Well, good. You should chuckle every time I say poop. You can say poop. It's an anagram, man. You can say it back and forth, you know. Poop, no matter which way. It goes out both ends. Okay. All right. Let's save and let's play a little bit with filters because we are reaching the end of the stream. I hope I kind of explained things. But all the most important things I really wanted to mention were basically the platforms, how to make your fires. Again, and next time, just to make sure the order's right, throw down the ash first on top of the roofs to create the part where it's burning. Then put the flames on top of that, and then put the light sources on top of that. And I used 3 light sources to give that extra red glow. And we also used some filters to give it glow as well. So let's go in and put in just a couple filters for fun. I think one of them that might work really well is clarity. It might cause things to pop out a lot more. Let me turn it off real quick to see the difference. Yeah, really causes the glow of the fire to really pop out more, and I really like that, so great for that. Let's throw in a couple more things here. Let's see here. Let's do an HSBC filter. Sometimes you might want to say that it's kind of ethereal or different. A really fun trick that you can do is go to the HSBC filters, and you can just change the hue. So this is going to be really fun. We can make it to where there's a green flames, maybe. You know what I mean? The goats are throwing these green necro flames, right? Maybe you want to make it a blue eerie flames. You see, it's changing the colors. HSBC really allows you to really change the range. So now you've got these blue flames. Maybe you want to have some purple flames. You want to add some purple to it. Maybe you want to do it that way. Maybe you want to throw in maybe this pinkish color instead. So HSBC, the hue slider, is a godsend. It will totally help you to really change up your map, and it can be used to any map. Let's say that you have a forest. Let's say that you have a forest and you want it to be a fey forest. All you have to do is just change the hue, and it will be this crazy purplish, bluish, whatever. Okay, it's the fastest way to kind of make an otherworldly map with a map that you already have. Just straight up change the hue. So that's really the trick. Hey, Chaos Jess, first time chat, sneaking in. Glad that you're here. A shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for being here with us today. Yeah, I mean, I like the reddish flame personally, but you know, if you like other colors, you can totally change the hue to make it just whatever kind of color that you want it to be. Up to you to play around and to have fun with it, okay? So we'll just stick with the regular, but I just wanted to give it there to you. Some other things that might be helpful to you is that you can also use the other settings. So if you really wanted to really pop out that color, you could boost the saturation all the way up, to make it pop more. If you wanted less saturation to make it a little bit more faded, drop the saturation. See, it still looks fairly interesting, gives it a faded, a bit more of an eerier look. Let's say that it's too bright. You want to drop the brightness down a little bit to make it a little bit more scarier. So you drop that brightness down. You want it to be brighter. You can boost the brightness to really pop it up. You can get contrast. Say that the fire is so hot. You can boost that contrast to really show that there's a distortion from the heat, right? So lots of different options. You can boost the contrast up to really bring out the darks and really bring out the lights. So it's really, really helpful to really play with that HSBC filter to really kind of give the effect that you want. Because what you really want to think about is just thinking about making your maps pop out from different people's maps. You want your map to pop out. If you're a private contractor and you're trying to sell your maps, making them pop out using filters is the best way for them to get acknowledged and then for you to get clients. And I think someone asked a question, are black fires possible? I have no idea. That's a great question. I've never even thought about it. Very interesting question. Yeah, so that is basically just covering the filters, okay? So lots of different things that you can do. Let's just go ahead and do a Q&A in the last 5-10 minutes or so. I hope that this helped you with putting together roads, putting together your platforms, putting together just some roads, some structures, doing a little bit of interior here. We added in our flames because, hey, we're all pyros here and we're just tapping into our pyro spirit collectively as we burn down innocent people's buildings. Hey, it's just the way it goes, okay? So lots of different options. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask, because this is the right time to do it. Ask me them questions. Ask them. Just shoot me with them. Pow, pow, pow. Bing, bing, bing. Hit me with the questions. It does not have to be related to this map. That's okay. If you want to just ask a rando question, doesn't bother me. I also want to do a quick shout out again. Go join our Discord server. If you haven't, you totally should. Our community is freaking bomb. They are awesome. Everyone there is super nice, and we kick out all the blue meanies. We really do. We just boot them right out, okay? We kick out the squares, all right? Our community is very caring and awesome, so go check that out. Absolutely awesome. You can also use a thin white shadow to get that illustration effect. Awesome. How often do you stream? I want to watch more of these. Oh, well, we do streams every Monday and Wednesday. Those are built into the schedule, but I also throw in some rando ones on Thursdays. For instance, there's not one tomorrow, but next Thursday there will be one. So let me go over what the schedule is for the rest of the month. We just finished Burning Villages. Monday the 23rd, that's going to be next Monday, is how to create political maps. That's the 23rd. And it's going to start at 11 a.m. PST. Okay? All my Monday streams start at 11 a.m. PST. You can also check out my profile. I post that calendar there. If you're on Discord, they're in the events in the Discord. I also post the calendar on YouTube. So lots of places to find the calendar. Let's move to the next one. The 25th, Wednesday, how to create rivers. That's going to be with the fantasy world style. I forgot to mention political maps is with the parchment world style. Rivers is with fantasy world. That's going to be fun. We're going to show you all kinds of different ways to make rivers. Super exciting. And then the last one is the 26th, and that's called how to create mountain ranges. And it's going to cover most styles. I doubt we'll do battle maps since you're not generally going to have a full mountain range in a battle map. So likely it will be fantasy world, fantasy regional, parchment, and that will cover how to make mountain range. Yes, very excited for rivers. That's going to be awesome. And of course, Eliora, if you have any suggestions for future streams, feel free to join our Discord and go to the stream request channel, and then you can go ahead and suggest your own stream. Make sure you scroll through the list a little bit. It's a new channel, so there's not like millions of them, like the feature request channel or art request channels. It's a new channel, so there's only maybe about a dozen or two. there. So make sure you scroll through to make sure that your suggestion hasn't already been suggested. Make sure to give that a thumbs up. And of course, if you do put one down, make sure you follow the guidelines. There is a little bit of guidelines at the top. It's just the format. It's nothing special. Just name the style that you want the stream done in, and then mention what the stream is. So a great example would be Fantasy World, how to make POIs, which is points of interest, something like that. So go ahead and join our Discord server so you can leave suggestions. Sweet. Well, I think that is it. And I think this week also I'll be finishing up. This week I'll be creating next month's stream. So I'll make sure to put that calendar up. Also, don't forget I got vacation coming up next month, beginning of the month. So we'll probably be doing some exclusive Discord streams, which will be recorded, and then those will be played on the dates that I'm gone. I think that's going to be Monday and Wednesday. So I'm super excited to actually sit down with people and do a Discord stream. It almost feels like forever since I've done one, and it will be nice to see everybody. Okay, well, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. Appreciate it. I hope you found this stream helpful, and I hope to see you all next Monday, the 23rd, when we decide to make political maps. Thank you again, everybody. Please stay safe and healthy, and you watch out for those burping and farting goats, flame-throwing goats, because believe me, they're out there. There's been sightings. It's on Facebook. Everything's on Facebook. Go, look. Be safe. Be merry map making, and I will see you all next week. Thank you so much, everybody.